Alright everyone, get ready to visit the Sinnoh region, but pack light because we're going fast! It's time for an any percent run of Pokemon Shining Pearl with runner Nerd Squared. Take it away!
Alright, hello, I'm Nerd Squared. I run a variety of different games, although Pokemon is of course one of them. I'll be running Shining Pearl tonight, but before we get into that, I want to mention a couple of things. I'll make it real quick since I know we're a bit behind schedule. Very first thing, I'll go out to the menu here to demonstrate this. I'm playing on version 1.1.1, which is very important because a lot of the glitches I'll be doing in this run only work on this version. So if you want to play, or if you want to try these glitches on your own copy of the game, it probably won't work. Sorry. But I'm playing on this version. Just wanted to show that. I'm also with this run, it's very complex and a lot of things happen very quickly, especially right after the 5 minute mark, I want to say. So it'll probably be a bit hard to take in, but I'll try to explain it as best as I can when it happens. So with that, I think we can go ahead and get started. Time is going to start when I select yes here on the language prompt. We are good for a countdown right now. And it looks like we are, so we'll go in 3, 2, 1, go. Okay, so this is Shining Pearl. It's a remake, a Switch remake of the 4th generation of Pokemon games, Diamond and Pearl. Probably one of the first things I can talk about with this run is text mashing, because it's obviously a big part of Pokemon speedruns. Text mashing in this game is awful, because for some reason in Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl, the text scrolls really strangely compared to every other Pokemon game. In fact, I think that includes Legends Arceus that came out recently, but I may be wrong. So you pretty much have to go ham on the buttons in order to get the text to go fast, which is really hard on your hands, of course. But thankfully, on all the categories for this game, you have the option of playing with turbo controllers. So thankfully, if you want to run this game, you won't end up having to destroy your hands in the process, which is always nice. So I'm going to set a couple of settings there, which are pretty typical for Pokemon speedruns. I set the text speed to fast, so that the text scrolls as fast as possible. And I set the battle animations to off so that the game doesn't play an animation every time I or the opponent uses a move. Normally as well in runs, we turn the music volume down to 0 because it skips jingles in the game, including when you pick up items, which for any percent saves around 15 seconds. But I elected to not do that for this run, just because if I did have the music turned off, the entire run would basically be awkward silence, which would not be very entertaining, so I decided to keep the music on. And it's also the Sinnoh games, and the music in the Sinnoh games are very, very good, so we want to hear that. So we're basically just going through the intro, standard stuff, meeting the rival, going to get our starter. So since there's not much going on here, I'll go ahead and explain the main glitch that we do in the run, since, as I said at the start, this run gets very complicated. So the glitch that we do in this run, the main glitch that we do, is something called menu storage. So this game is very broken, and part of it being so broken is the fact that it does not handle rapid-fire inputs of the confirm button very well. And if you do rapid-fire inputs of the confirm button, one after another, while in the Pokemon summary screen in the menu, it duplicates the menu that you're in. So you can essentially have a menu up while you have control of the trainer character, and that is really the key to breaking this game, because with that menu up, you can cancel out of anything the game considers a cutscene, like opening a door or talking to an NPC, and you can do some fun things with that. You'll see that pretty soon, in about 2 minutes, I want to say, after you do the starter, or get the starter and go through some cutscenes. But first we're going to pick our starter, which is going to be Turtwig. The starter that we picked for this run does not matter at all, because beyond this first fight with the Starly, there's no fights that we do at all in the game. So we go ahead and pick whichever starter we want, and we pick Turtwig because the cursor defaults to Turtwig when the bag opens up, so it's just fastest to select him. This
Sorry,
fight...
did you say in this Pokemon game we're not actually doing any Pokemon battles besides this one?
Yes? Question mark?
Well, I don't know what I'm in for, but I'm very excited to see this.
Yeah. Yeah, it's ridiculous how broken this game is. Like, the last time a Pokemon run was this short, for any percent, was back in Gen 1 and Gen 2. Just keep that in mind. It's crazy. Alright. So, we're going to just go through some more cutscenes, and then in about a minute, I'm going to do the first menu storage. It's going to look a little complex the first time you see it. Oh, whoops, didn't need to do that. Accidentally opened a menu. That was muscle memory from world record attempts, but I corrected myself. So it's going to look a little confusing, but I'm basically just using that trick I talked about with the rapid fire confirm press to duplicate menus in order to just like break the game, basically. I'm gonna do it, and I talked about interrupting cutscenes with the overlaid menu. I'm gonna do that here with the entering the door to Mom's house. And if I do it right, some fun things will happen, but it's a bit of a tricky timing. First, we're gonna get the running shoes from our mom. Obviously very helpful for going fast. Alright, so we'll do the menu glitch here first, so I can concentrate, and then I'll explain it. Luckily, we get a pretty handy autosave there. Alright, got it. So I did the duplicated menu trick I talked about, and then I canceled out of one of the menus while I was entering the door to Mom's house. When you're in a cutscene, like entering a door, the game freezes the world, so you can't get... So encounters don't happen, and NPCs don't have vision. But I interrupted the cutscene, so I can move around while the game is in this frozen state. So I can just run through this route without having to fight any trainers, or do the catching tutorial, or get the Pokedex, none of that. We can just go straight to Jubilife, which is the first city in the game. And I'm going here because we need to get an old rod from a random fisherman in this building coming up in order to do some more menu glitches later, because when you have two key items, it brings up this menu showing you the key items that you have. And when you use a key item, it triggers this text where Rowan says, "Hey, you can't use that here," which we're going to use later to trigger menu storage. So we're going to run through Jubilife here and get the old rod. And we're gonna duplicate the old rod to get the key item menu to show up through a really complex string of menus in a second, but first we have to actually get the old rod. And this gentleman right here. Alright. So I'm gonna save before I do this menu string, because there's a chance if I do it wrong I could slop off the game. So let's hope that doesn't happen. So I'll go ahead and do a quick safety save here. There is a point later on where if I soft lock, it's a big time loss, but I do have a safety save for it. So I'll do a storage there. So I'll duplicate the old rod here by opening the menu while the register prompt is open. It lets me register 2 old rods here, even though I only have 1. So I'm going to layer 3 menus here. I'm going to bring up the key item menu there, 1 main menu, and then another main menu. This is all a big setup for text storage I'm going to do in just a second. Because I want to store this text right here from this lady that tells you that the GWS isn't ready yet. Because I'm going to cancel this text as soon as I go over a ledge on this route, in order to get a trick called Legitate, and it's a very precise timing to cancel this text, so hopefully I get it. Oh, that didn't look good at all. I'll have to reset that then. So I was way early on the timing, I just misjudged when I had to press B there, so I just have to reset and do that menu setup again. It is unfortunate, but I did account for this in the estimate, so we're still fine. Yeah, if any of this looks a little weird to you, don't worry. It's perfectly normal, I promise. Totally normal Pokemon gameplay.
I've been wasting so much money on repels in this game. I feel like that was completely unnecessary given what you're doing here.
Yeah, why do you need repels when you can just use menus? Easy. Alright. So I have to duplicate the old rods again. I think I might have messed this up there actually by doing an extra key item, but I think I should be fine. So get this text again. You have to cancel out this cutscene at a very specific time, by the way, because if you cancel out of it too early, you won't get this text box at the bottom, you'll just get the exclamation mark that appears above her head, which is not what you want. Alright, that looks good that time, but we'll see if we got it. Well, no, I didn't get it, because our rival here will catch us as we exit the route, but he didn't get us, so we're fine. So, I did that because if you cancel that text while you go over the ledge, it interrupts the animation of you going over the ledge, and that makes us levitate in the air. And we're doing this because we need a lot of height to get to the Pokemon League. I know, very big jump for this early in the game, but we're going to go to the Pokemon League with this bit of out of bounds here. After I cancel out of the cutscene. So I'm going to use a secondary timer that you can't see on the stream once I get out of bounds here. Because I need to move a very specific amount in specific directions with specific timing cues while I'm moving the void here. Because I need to avoid some collision in order to get to the Pokemon League, but you obviously can't see where you're going. So you have to go off of timing cues instead. And normally it's very risky in a run, but I'm doing a path that's hopefully a little safer. So ideally we'll get it, but we'll see what happens. I might have been a little low when I started the out of bounds, but we'll see. So I'll move up for 5 more seconds. Just about. Alright, right for 5 seconds, and then up for 22. And that's what I'm talking about with the specific timing cues. I have to like count in my head to know, okay, I have this amount left until, or this amount of time left until I have to move this direction. And I'm not talking much during this section just because I really have to concentrate to make sure I don't mess this up. Alright, that looks good. So now I'm going to move right for 35 more seconds, and then I'll move down right for 10 seconds. And then after that, I'm going to hold right for a while, and hopefully while I hold right for a while, we end up bonking into a wall, which will lead me to the which will lead me to the Pokemon League. Again, ideally, but we'll see what happens. The tricky thing with moving in the void is that even when you know where to go, if you're even slightly off this path that I'm doing, you can very easily get stuck, and at that point, there's no saving it. So in an actual run, if you ever get lost here, it's basically dead run, but if I do end up soft locking here, I have a backup save. So we'll bonk pretty soon here. There we go. We'll move down 4 times. And then I'll move up right for a little bit here. It looked a little iffy, but I think we got it. So we just got to the league there. I promise it's there. And I saved and exited there because the map, as you saw when I was going through the void, it was deloaded. So I have to save and exit for the league to actually load in. So this last part of the out of bounds, while we do have the out of bounds movement and the run overall pretty optimized, this last part, where we try to get into the league, still involves a little bit of guesswork. So when you do this last part and you save and exit next to the league, you can end up in wildly different places. But it looks like we were good there. Yep, we're just behind the waterfall here, so we can go ahead and enter the league. So we don't have to fight any of the 8 gym leaders or our rival. We can just go straight to the league. No problem. In what, probably 10 or 12 minutes by this point? Pretty good. So I'm gonna save and exit, or save here, just in case I mess this one up, because it's gonna be another double storage, like we did with the mom's house at the beginning. Oh, I messed that up, but I can recover it. It's gonna be a double storage like we did with mom's house at the beginning. I'm gonna cancel the storage off of this escalator here. Okay, good. So I basically cancel out the menu as soon as the screen starts fading into black there. That interrupts the animation of me going up the escalator, which lets me go through the escalator and out of bounds. And I went behind that guy there because at this point, we only have a level 5 Turtwig, so if we tried fighting our rival before the league, we'd get destroyed. So we have to go behind that door instead to get to the load zone. And I saved and exited there because behind that door is a big collision box, and if you save and exit there, you get clipped into that collision box, so you can then go to the door and hit the load zone. There we go. Alright, so now I'm going to save here because these next few menus can soft lock the game if I'm not careful. Which is a running theme with a lot of tricks in this game. So it's going to be another storage. I'm going to bring up a key item menu. Regular menu. And then I'm going to do another key item menu, except I'm going to do a bit of an optimized setup where I go back to the Pokemon selection screen and then go on the elevator here. Well, I can't see the game. Alright, so I'm going to use the first key item here to... Oh. That was wrong. So I accidentally hit the wrong direction there in the key item menu and soft locked myself. So I can go ahead and explain what I'm doing there, since I kind of hecked it. So what I did there, I did a key item, regular menu, and then key item. I used the first key item as I went through the door, which is a very tight window. It's around 3 frames. That stores the animation of me entering the Elite Four member's room. And then I canceled out of the menu to gain control. And then after that, once I'm up next to the wall at the top of the room, I use the second key item, which lets the animation play, which clips me through the wall. So I can hit the load zone behind the door. I'm gonna do it 3 more times after this first one. And that'll let me skip all the Elite Four members. Okay. And this bit of move I'm doing while in the Elite Four members room is a lot more delicate than it looks. Because if you tilt the control stick too much while you have the key item menu up, you activate the key item. And if you activate it too early there, you won't get clipped through the wall with the door storage. Instead, you'll get stuck in the room. That's obviously very bad, because you're effectively soft locked at that point. And there's a reason we have to do all this tricky menu stuff to get past the Elite Four instead of just fighting them. A, like with our rival, we will get destroyed because we only have a level 5 starter. But also, in an older route for any percent, we would do a glitch involving Pokedolls to skip these fights. If you're familiar with the older generations of Pokemon, you might have seen them in the glitch categories do an instant battle glitch or instant victory glitch. We effectively do the same thing in Brilliant Diamond Shining Pearl. It's pretty hilarious, actually, because we just use the Pokédoll in the bag and the fight immediately ends. It's hilarious. Alright, so menu 1 more here. We just skipped Aaron. We're gonna skip, or no, Flint, yeah. We're gonna skip Lucian with this next one, which is the last Elite Four member. And we're gonna skip Cynthia as well with some more menu stuff, but the way that we do it for Cynthia is really crazy. It's going to involve some line movement with it. Oh. Darn it. Soft locked again. So that's what happens if you do it too early. The game just shows a black screen and you can't move. That's okay though. Before each of these Elite Four members, I've been saving just in case I mess these up. Because it's a very complex string of menus. If this looks ridiculous, it's even more ridiculous in world record attempts. Because for world record attempts, for like really optimal menuing in this bit, in order to save time, you'd basically have to do this entire thing, this entire stretch of menus, without being able to see the game, because you still have a menu up while doing all of this. It's as ridiculous as it sounds. It saves like 30 seconds if you decide to do that. Because you don't have to do all this intermediary stuff where you have to bring up the menu again and do all this storage. You can just set it up right away.
While we're doing that again, chat, please keep helping us. We're trying to get to that 12K milestone. That's actually 4 times our initial goal, but I still think we can make it happen. Please, please consider keeping those donations coming in. We really want to bring Luigi to the party.
Yeah. If I stall by soft locking, we can bring Luigi to the party. So I'm totally gonna soft lock on this next menu.
Turtwig and Luigi are both green, right? So there's some inbuilt synergy going on right now.
It's true. So I'm gonna do a key item here, storage, back out to the summary, and then do another storage. Then I'm gonna do another Pokemon selection thing here to bring up the key item. I'm gonna use the key item as soon as the screen fades out from black. That gives me movement during this cutscene. Then I'm gonna do some blind movement here to get behind Cynthia and go on the elevator, so we skip her fight. And there would be a cutscene here leading into the Hall of Fame, but if I use the key item, it cancels me out of the cutscene and gives me movement, so I can just go straight to the Hall of Fame here. And time is going to be pretty soon. It's going to be when the screen fades from black after this Hall of Fame sequence. Yeah, we get to see how I did. Congratulations, Turtwig. You did a good job. So time will be in about 10 seconds here. 17 IGT is pretty good. This is probably around 19 minutes, I want to say. Alright, time. Yeah, that's
GG. Wow.
That's Shining Pearl glitched in a nutshell. It's as crazy as it looks. And I've been going, like, this category is just so fun to run because you didn't see it in this run, obviously, because it's so short, but it's gone through a ton of iterations. Originally, this category was around the same length as Glitchless, 3.5 hours. The world record now is 14.5 minutes. It's that crazy.
That was the least Pokemon I have ever seen in a Pokemon game. It was incredible.
Yeah. It's not quite like Gen 1 where we can credits warp, but we're getting there.
We're getting there for sure. Are there any final shoutouts or comments you'd like to make?
Yeah, so I want to shout out some of the Switch Pokemon speedrunning community members in the Discord. New Amber, SMA, Pulse Effects, Concerned Mom, and Shenanigans. Some of those names you might recognize. All of them were pretty instrumental in running this category back when the game was new. And I also want to shout out some general Pokemon speedrunning community members. Kizaron, Etiquette, Stringflow. I think there's a few others I'm forgetting, but those are the main ones I wanted to shout out. And real quickly, actually, I know we're a bit behind on schedule, but I'll do this real quick. So one thing I didn't mention with a lot of those glitches, I mentioned for a lot of them that if you do them wrong, you can soft lock the game. Well, it turns out that The game's even more broken than you thought, because you can actually crash it if you do some of these glitches wrong. So, of course, with this being a BDSP speedrun, it would not be a proper send-off if we didn't crash the game at least once. So that's what I'm going to do here. I would have done it on that save file I was just on, but we would have had to sit through the credits, which would have taken a bit. And this lady here is going to be our victim. Forgot I had employee on this file. It's a really long cry. Alright, so I got menu storage there, as you can see. I'm going to move up to this girl, and then I'm going to talk to her and enter the Pokemon menu at the same time. So, the game does not handle you being in the menu and starting the dialogue at the same time, so it just implodes. And that crashes the game. So yeah, that's all I have there. I just want to show that off real quick. Thank you all for watching.
Of course the game crashes. Nothing else would have made sense there. Thank you again so much for that awesome run. Chat, can we please get one more virtual round of applause for that wonderful showcase of almost no Pokemon, but there was still game there. We still beat it. It was fun. We're heading to a short intermission, but don't go anywhere. We do still have one run to go. Please stick around for Paper Mario.